Thank you for calling Lloyds Bank. If your property has been repossessed and your financial circumstances have now changed and you are looking to regain control of your property, please press option 1.
Good morning, you're through to Neil. How can I help?
Yeah, Neil, so this is the Lloyds Banking Group, is it?
Correct.
And whereabouts are you based?
We've got multiple offices, obviously, all over the country. Personally, I'm in an office in Chester.
This is okay. So, whereabouts is the actual head office of Lloyds?
Is in London.
Okay, it's not in Edinburgh, no?
Actually, I think they have, actually. They've certainly got a big one in Edinburgh. Is there any reason you want to send a letter or something somewhere, and I can give you dig out an address for you? Or
no, I need to speak to Charlie Nunn, the CEO of Lloyds.
I'm obviously aware who he is. I don't think I'll be able to get him on the phone for you. Have you got a mortgage or a credit card or a loan with us, or?
Well, this telephone number is only given to people whose homes have been repossessed. Is that correct?
It's available, but we only dial out on certain lines, so it's specific to mortgages. But again, I'm not sure who's given it to you. Do you have an account number or something I can try and find in your account? At least I'll at least be able to refer you to the correct sort of team or department.
Do you want the postcode of the address? It'll be easier.
Possibly. I tell you what, you know the mobile number you're calling in on? Have we called you on that in the past?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. Is the mortgage in your name?
And my late sister, it's going through probate.
Okay. Can you give me your late sister's surname and her postcode, please? And I'll see if I can find what I can find for you.
Yeah, so it's Chaudhary.
Chaudhary.
Chaudhari. And postcode is India Golf 6 3 Echo Bravo.
Okay. This might take a minute or two to me to find you. Okay, so bear with me while I look for it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Well, can I ask roughly when you said it has been repossessed or about to be, or?
Sorry, are you saying you don't have any record of it on your system?
No, I'm saying that the system, sort of the search parameters aren't without an account number, or sometimes we can link it via a phone number. It takes me a while to find, so I'm trying to find the actual account. So I've got some details from what you told me, but there was no actual account number coming up. So the postcode that you gave me, was that the postcode of a property, or did she live at another address? Or?
No, that is the repossessed property, and the property on which there was a loan from Halifax.
Halifax. And do you know approximately when it was repossessed?
19th of October last year and the 17th of March this year.
So you said it was repossessed twice. What was your late sister's initial, please? The first name. Right. I think I found it. Would you mind if I just take a minute just to read through a few of the notes just to see so I can work out exactly what's going on?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Got sort of brief details on the account. So are you been dealing with this on behalf of the family then, or are you like the executor of your sister's estate, or?
I'm the beneficiary.
Okay.
And there is an application in the King's Bench Division regarding the probate that's ongoing.
At this stage, I would only recommend that you sort of speak direct to our solicitors, Walker Morris.
Well, you hired Ellen McLean. She's not a solicitor. She's fake. So is Callum Davies. He's not a solicitor. He's a fake. You're using fake solicitors to steal people's homes when they've been murdered.
I know Walker Morris are a reputable firm of solicitors because we've been working for years.
No, they're only reputable for stealing from the murdered at the moment.
I'm sorry, I haven't read the sort of full details of the file. If your sister's been murdered, that's sort of simplifies because that's a terrible thing to do.
My sister's been murdered by Lloyds Banking Group, by the actual bank.
Obviously, that's something I would find it hard to believe, but I can understand that sort of if you feel that way, then is this something the police are dealing with? Or?
Well, if you look on the mortgage deed, my sister's name is not on it. And if you look on the land registry, the name is spelt wrongly. And then the life policy didn't match either of those. And so when the co-owner, my late dad, died, our late dad, they couldn't get the life policy from my dad to pay it in 2013. And then when my sister passed away from extortion and extreme poverty by the bank, she did not get survivorship, and she kept paying her mortgage when she was dying of cancer. And then she didn't have the money for her treatment because she was paying the mortgage. And then the bank has now left an indefinite delay on the probate because the land registry cannot change the name, because the mortgage deed didn't have her name on it. Whilst she was paying for 15 years the money that killed her. So
I'm obviously unable to comment on any of that. So, apologies for what you've been through. I lost a brother in sort of COVID, so I know what it's like to lose a sibling, and obviously under totally different circumstances. But I know I can only suggest. So if I know there was various things ongoing. So I can't really discuss the account with you because you're not named anywhere on it, and as a beneficiary, you wouldn't have sort of rights to access the information directly. It would normally be the executor or the person that's been granted on a probate form.
Who have you got as the executor?
That I can't tell you. It would be sort of whoever was notified by the family.
Is that Edward Ellis?
Again, I can't tell you that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so Edward Ellis is the executor who has been denied his executorship conveniently, and that's why probate is indefinitely delayed. So you cannot possess a home whilst it's in probate, and you cannot steal from the murdered that you've murdered, because then you become come under international law. My sister's baby is the subject of a murder investigation by the 18th Law Commission of India, Report 206, which my sister was a co-petitioner. So the Lloyds Banking Group is aiding and abetting in the assassinations of witnesses of baby gang rape in the NHS.
I'm sorry, but at this point I'm going to sort of refer you to either a solicitors or a complaints team, which I think we've...
Is this call recorded?
Yes, it will be.
Can you send this to Charlie Nunn as by way of final notice that the bank is going to be dissolved? Because the bank was criminally prosecuted in the Southwark Crown Court in 2017 over a 10-year investigation paid for by Thames Valley Police Crime Commissioner Anthony Stansfeld, and they were jailed for 50 years. Now the bank is continuing in contempt of the Criminal Appeals Court, which was asked to reduce those sentences, and those sentences were not reduced by the Criminal Appeals Court. So the bank has been trading illegally. It's a pirate trader. It is killing people and then stealing from the murdered routinely.
I'm sorry, I would disagree with all of that. All I can suggest, I know you've sort of, there's been issues raised in the past. All I can suggest is you sort of raise those again, either via our solicitors or a complaints unit.
Right, so you need to tell Walker Morris that the evidence of the 5 murders of the family members, which is my parents, my dad was murdered also by the bank, my mother as well, from extortions, and the lawyer for the baby, Dr. Akina Odoko, the president of the Uganda Law Society, he was also murdered by the NHS. So the bank has 5 murders on its hands, and Walker Morris has threatened to destroy the documentary evidence which is inside the home, which is meant to be a memorial home for the baby, which is what the mother wished for it in her will, for me to ensure that the baby's...
Yeah, sorry. You've obviously been through a lot with your family, but I'm not going to respond to sort of complaints. If you think the bank are guilty of murdering people, then you should be reporting it to the police, not ourselves.
The police are well aware of it, because the police have about 50 police officers have attended the property, and you've got 2 security guards in there from SIA, what you're doing is terrorism, and the world is watching how the UK government is owning your bank to commit these mass murders of victims, people after extorting from them, and with fraudulent documentation of fraudulent mortgage deeds, fraudulent land registry records, and the whole evidence was put in front of your solicitors and your barristers, Edward Muley and Edward Granger. And the Walker Morris solicitors are already well known for hijacking the courts, hijacking the county courts, pretending the county courts are high courts, and then totally ignoring the paperwork in the King's Bench Division, which is to dismiss the case. The bank's possession claim was dismissed by His Honour Judge Luba on the 5th of December. The bundle of documents, I need to send that to Charlie Nunn. I'm going to send them to Charlie Nunn now. So if you wish to
write into to Charlie Nunn, then any sort of sort of things will be presented either to him or sort of a senior assistant. But
who's your senior assistant?
I have no idea, if I'm perfectly honest. If you write to Charlie Nunn, do you wish our head office address? I can dig that out for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, bear with me a second. Registered office is 25.
Yeah.
Gresham Street, so it's spelled Gresham.
Yeah.
In London.
Yeah.
Postcode is Echo Charlie 2. Victor. 7 Hotel November.
And the email address?
I don't believe that's a public record, so you can send anything in writing to him at that address.
No, his email is charlie.nunn@lloydsbankingroup.com. I've got it on ceoemail.com, as they have to be. So finally, can you instruct Walker Morris that this is a murder investigation, subject of the 18th Law Commission of India, and the King's Bench Division is dealing with that murder investigation, and also that...
If a murder investigation, if a murder was completed in the UK, it should be the British police who are looking after it, not Indian Law Commission.
No, British police can only deal with murders investigations in the UK. Once they've criminally covered up that murder investigation, which they did 22 years ago, then it becomes an international jurisdiction under the Crime International Cooperation Act 2003 and the Criminal Law Act 1967, Section 4, which is now why the Lloyds Banking Group is going to be dissolved, because it's an illegal pirate trader since its criminal contempt of its own criminal prosecution.
Well, we would obviously dispute that, but carry on.
So you do have a habit of interrupting me when I'm trying to make a point and I don't actually get to the point. So Lloyds Banking Group is a pirate trader which will be dissolved over this case imminently, and all its assets will be seized and they will be distributed to its victims of banking frauds, which it was already prosecuted by the criminal court, Southwark Crown Court, and rubber stamped by the Criminal Appeals Court in 2020 EWCA Crim 369 in 2017, which was an insufficient deterrent, clearly, because the bank is just carrying on with suicides, divorces, family breakups, and murders of vulnerable members of the public, which is state terrorism, subject of international criminal law.
Would you mind if I take your name so put up a note on the account to say who's called?
Yeah, my name is Neelu Berry, November Echo Lima Uncle. I am the auntie of Rishi Sunak. My late sister was the second auntie of Rishi Sunak. The baby is the second cousin of Rishi Sunak, and I did form the Lloyds Banking Group of that situation.
Okay, that's fine. I'll note the account that you've given us a call today, but I would dispute pretty much everything else you've said, I'm afraid.
So we have a buyer for the property, Children First charity, Belinda McKenzie. She's given a statement, so I'm going to send you the email. I'm going to email the bundle to Walker Morris for the attention of Charlie Nunn. By way of settlement, I require £1.2 million for the trauma to my sister. And I have my own breach of privacy data claim of about £1 million against Walker Morris and £1 million against the bank. And so the bank needs to action that and give the property possession back in the condition that it was. The contents of the garage have been cleared, which worth £100,000. And this is an offer I'm making for settlement out of court.
Any settlement, anything like that, you could sort of direct at Walker Morris, they would work on our behalf.
No, I'm recording this call. I'm going to make this call public. So it's £3.3 million in my bank account within 7 days. And otherwise, the bank will be attempting to assassinate other supporters of the charity who wish to rescue children who have been kidnapped by the state. So childrenfirst.net is the charity that will be occupying this property. It will be donated by Lloyds Bank to the charity.
Okay, well, I'll note your comments today, but that's as far as I'm going to go on that, I'm afraid.
Okay, great. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.